Welcome back to the Morning Blend. The man that you see in this photograph here was 19 years old when he attempted to take his life by jumping off the Golden Gate Bridge. Today, he is one of just 34 people to survive that fall and the only one to regain full mobility. He later wrote this book. It is a best-selling memoir called Cracked, Not Broken, Surviving and Thriving After a Suicide Attempt. You can meet that author and hear about his life experience at a free event that's happening tonight.
That's right, and here now with more on Kevin's story, what he's doing now, and how you can attend the event is Deeatra Kajfosz, a suicide attempt survivor herself. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, ladies.
Great to see you again.
It's great to see you.
It's a real important topic, you know, to be able to talk about and to be able to share a story. Talk a little bit about your interest in the topic of suicide prevention and perhaps some of your personal interest in it.
Oh, thank you. I am not only a 15-year suicide attempt survivor, but I'm also the founder and executive director of an organization called Life of Hope. And I started that organization actually after losing a dear friend of mine a year and a half ago and realizing that the resources, the support within our community didn't exist not only back at the time of my attempt, but they still weren't in place at the time that Kirk passed. And, you know, it just concerned me. And so we have created kind of almost a movement here in southeast Wisconsin to say, look, we need to do things different, and in order for things to change, we have to change. We work off from 3 pillars of influence. The first one being awareness, just letting people know that suicide's preventable, what they can do about it. The second one being education, which is the really exciting part for this evening, bringing Kevin in as part of our education pillar. We also provide QPR certification. It's a free class to learn the 3 steps.
What is QPR?
It stands for Question, Persuade, Refer. And it's an evidence-based training to learn the 3 steps in providing a successful intervention to a suicide attempt and hopefully reach that person before they take action. And then the third pillar is really about support, and that's bringing like-minded individuals that have had similar life experiences that might feel very alone, very confused, together to discuss what life can look like on the other side of that adversity and to encourage them to be open, to start the dialogue, to not feel shamed by what they're feeling. You know, we kind of look at suicide as being something that's taboo, and yet the brain is an organ just the same as any other organ. It can become diseased, and it can change how we engage with the world around us. And so when we look at it that way, it becomes not quite so scary.
I love that you share your story, because there's a lot of stigma, as you know, attached to mental illness as well as someone who's attempted suicide. And so I think it's great that you do this. One of the things I find fascinating, you have 3 children.
I do.
And the time of your attempt, at the time you had 3 kids. And what I love about your story is that you say you've been given these 15 years to watch your kids grow into young adults, to celebrate wedding anniversaries, to go on vacation, make memories with friends that you embrace each day as a gift. And I've shared before on the show that my brother died of suicide. And you think about all those years, all of his nieces and nephews that he's missed out on ever meeting and all of those things, and you just wish that someone had been able to intervene in a meaningful way, like the way that you described. Let's talk a little bit about Kevin Hines. He's a mental health advocate, an award-winning global speaker, best-selling author, documentary filmmaker. Here he is right here. He's going to be speaking at this event that you have. He jumped off the Golden Gate Bridge. He was diagnosed with bipolar disorder, one of only 34 to survive that. Right. So not only did he survive it, but he's the only known person who doesn't have any physical impairment as a result of his suicide attempt. I mean, he's like the 1 in a billion or 1 in a million or however many people have attempted.
Less than 1%,
tell us a little bit about him.
You know, I met Kevin a year and a half ago. I was really fortunate to go with a young lady that I was friends with to go and see him. And his story really almost, I guess, drove me even at a higher level to want to do something to make a difference, to see somebody who has been in a similar mindset that I was and came out on the other side and has the courage to do something to change the way that we look at and talk about this topic. And I was just really taken by him. He's such a down-to-earth individual. It's been wonderful to get to know him and his wife, and it literally took us a year and a half to bring him back to the state of Wisconsin. To have him here in Southeast Wisconsin really is quite a coup for our community. Life of Hope is really proud of the support that we've received to make this possible and to be able to provide it for free, that anybody can come this evening and hear his story, get to meet him, get a copy of his book, read it, and share it with others. We're really excited about this.
I mean, what a story it will be to hear out of his mouth. And you can come again tonight at 7 o'clock. Kevin Hines, you can hear him speak. It's an evening of education and hope with Kevin Hines. It's at the West Bend High School. It's free to all. And you can find out more at lifeofhopeproject.org for services and resources as well to help prevent suicide. Thanks for being here, Deeatra.
Thank you so much.
Great
Betty.
to see you again. Thanks
Good
for
to see
sharing
you.
your story and his. We appreciate it.